Hi, I'm Leif from Leif Labs, and I'm going to document the creation of a drive coil for my Trash Wizard Trash Magic Philosophy Engine motor system. And so I'm going to document the whole process. I'm going to go down to the creek and start getting the plastic bottle caps that I need. Here's a bird's eye view of the creek I'm going down to. This is Cherry Creek along Spear Boulevard in Denver. And there's been a flood recently because of some snow, so there should be a bunch of bottles, although they're all going to be on the side opposite of where that trail is, because that tends to get picked up pretty good. There's a fair amount of trash picking that happens there, so I'm going to head down and see what I can find. Okay, this is the jackpot. Here's the creek, and here's a big pile of trash. I'm going to go down and see what I can get. Okay, super jackpot. We're looking for this kind of lid. This one's in great condition. Here, another one in really good condition. And if I look around, some of these little liquor bottles and stuff, seems like these are pretty universal. I don't want the actual bottle. I'm just going to remove the lid. And I don't really need all that many. If I get like 4 or 5, I think I'm ready to go here. I'm looking around. What else have we got? I think that's the main jackpot here. Okay, here's my collection of bottle caps. I was only down there for about 5 minutes. These are really easy to collect. I got a couple large ones there from Gatorade top, and I got another one that I didn't take out of my pocket. But these are real easy to get. You got to watch out when you're down there. There's a bunch of used needles and stuff. But yeah, gloves and shoes are probably not a bad idea. Although I didn't have gloves, but I have shoes. That's good. It's also snowy. Washing them in the sink. Yep, I'm going to scrub it a little bit, but here's just, what's happening, hot water. Okay, now I'm going to have a bowl of cereal, which is where I get my sheets of HDPE. Now when I say HDPE, if I look at this, on the bottom, there's a number 2 recycle symbol here. Let's see if I can get this in the picture. There it is, number 2, HDPE. That's what you want to look for. If you're not a person who drinks milk, what you want to look for is orange juice or pineapple juice, which are often in the same section of the grocery store as the milk, and you can see the exact same container being used for those. It should also have the number 2 HDPE on it. The lid is also HDPE, also useful. All lids are useful. I don't use these lids to wind coils. I use them to join coils together. The handle's great for tubes and stuff. You can weld those together. Anyway, I eat cereal every day for lunch, and so this is my source of HDPE. But again, if you don't drink milk, I would recommend looking at the juices that are in the same part of the grocery store, usually orange and pineapple, or orange and pineapple, which you can use to make Mai Tais. One more thing, I keep the cereal boxes as well, because a cardboard just serves as a nice place to mix paints and epoxies, and I do enough of that it becomes a pain in the ass to not have something disposable. I get these stupid goddamn things anyway. I might as well use them for something. I'll find a better use for them eventually, but for now, this is how I mix paint and epoxies. Okay, here's my bottle cap that I'm going to use for this operation. The first thing I'm going to do is take my knife. Yeah, this one's a lot better. I think this is a pop bottle. I think that was a liquor bottle. The pop bottle seemed to be better. So yeah, the knife goes in pretty good now. I'm using the non-serrated blade. Alright, it's been cut 4 ways. Now I'm going to go over here, turn on my hot air gun, 135. And I go over here and start heating this thing up. It's going to take generally about 12 seconds to get it ready to go for each one of these, and then what I'm going to use pliers to bend 4 of them flat. Okay, here we go. Now I lied. Notice I don't actually want to pry these up flat. I want to pry them up probably about 30 degrees past flat. You can see how this is starting to look like a spool, and it kind of has a little bit of a rise, and what that's going to do is that when this gets filled up with wire, it's going to be sort of a part of a sphere, which is kind of the geometry that I want for a lot of the different motor applications. So now the next step is going to be to put the thinner piece like this of HDPE on there, weld that into place, and then I'll have a spool. Okay, here's a piece of the HDPE from a milk bottle. I cut a pair of cuts in there, and sort of an X, and then when I apply heat, what's going to happen, I'll just show this process. If I get the gun in here, I'm going to do this for 2, 3, yeah, so at about 10 seconds it starts to get that glassy color. That means it's working, and now I'm going to need my second hand, so I'm going to put this down. Making progress, but still needs work. This is a slow process the way I'm doing it now. I apply heat, use the tweezers to push things down, and then I kind of tack weld it, but it's not a good weld until I get more heat on this side, so I'm able to kind of squash the bottle cap side. So that's almost next. I'm going to hit it a couple more times with the tweezers, and then I'm going to do the pliers procedure to get the crimp here. Okay, here it is. Basically done. This is going to be the spool. And this was a bit of a pain in the ass to make, but I think I can automate this process with a machine that'll just in one shot do the cut, the heating, and the joining, the whole thing. That's a very easy machine to make, I think, once I have heating and temperature regulation technology, which should be pretty soon. So now I'm going to wind the coil. To wind the coil, I don't have any fresh wire, but I got these coils here. And what I always want to have between 1 and 2 amps of current for like between 3 and 6 volts. So I want to have more than 3 ohms and less than 6 ohms. So I'm going to measure each one of these and then decide how much I want. Lots of turns. This is about 1.5 of these types of coil. I wound it around. Started by going through a little hole inside there, go all the way around, wrap it over, and now I'm going to weld these pieces. Well, I'm going to use heat to bend these pieces down and then weld some straps over the top. Here's the strap getting welded on. There's the first weld joint, and then I've also done a little bit of heating and reworking to get the pattern like to go around that turn over the round bit properly. So now I'm gonna get that weld a little better, get that shape a little better, finish that weld, and then do that with 3 more straps so it's all strapped together. Here it is, done. All welded. And I ground off the insulation on the ends there, measured it. It's about 4.5 ohms, which is really just right. So now this is ready to integrate into the rest of the system.